I learned a few things. I actually learned some words too. Have you been on the weights? It actually looks quite fun.
Here's your daddy.
Hey, look, he's big.
Daddy. Go on, baby.
Good evening, everybody on the Heidelberg website. We're webcasting again. It's really, really exciting. It's Blakey back again. Yes, they've dragged me out of the crypt again. Look at this. Look how excited I am. I've got the old Heidelberg strip next to me. Of course, my co-host, Dougie Hodgson. Doug, how you doing?
Good, Mr. Blake. How are you today, mate? Great to see you again.
Another couple of weeks older, but it is very exciting. And our very, very special guest who we're going to talk to. We're going to draw some information. It's been really, really interesting to the whole, because this is on the eve, of course, of the big gala dinner, big reunion dinner. Lots of players coming to town. Name some names, Dougie.
Bratton, McDowell, McNichol, Alan Scott all the way from WA, Bobby Aaron from WA, which is great to see. Terry Hennessy.
It's going to be front page of the Herald Sun on Monday morning, what's left of Melbourne.
Hope it's not me on a new one.
But welcome, Bobby. We'll get to you in a second. But what's fascinated me, guys, is that we're all getting really excited about the reunion dinner. I mean, and the build-up has been extraordinary. It's like you two. When was the last time you two saw each other?
The game against Sheffield United in WA 93, 94.
So it's been that long since these two guys have seen each other. As soon as they got here, about 20 minutes ago, they've been talking ever since non-stop. They've got some terrific material already developed. Right? So it's going to be, this reunion thing is going to be fantastic.
To be fair, I thought Bobby's came from WA, and I only thought it was wearing different shirts that we've been talking about, Blakey. Bobby, what we've done on the show, mate, is every night, every show, a different shirt. I thought it was only right to make sure that I brought the WA shirt out, which was the last time I seen it, which was Friday the 13th. In WA, Sheffield United versus Western Australia, and this was a shirt, maybe it was a bit more baggier on me then, than it is now, but the old man cans are still doing okay. So I'll put it on tonight just for you, mate.
It was a lucky Friday 13 for you as well.
It was. They shipped me up and shipped me out pretty good out of Australia. It was
just quickly, tell let us tell us the story.
93 was, I was at National League. I went from here out of season. I went over and played Donell, Serbia. Played there for about 3 months. Obviously, opportunity arose that Western Australia, Sheffield United was coming. Sean Murphy was coming back from Knox County to play for Sheffield for Western Australia. Me being playing it in the WA League, in the Premier League, opportunity arose, and I took it. I actually stopped drinking, went on a fruit diet, trained extra, done the dedication, and the day after the day of the game we played. Had a good solid game in the Wacker, and an agent went over my shoulder after the game and said, "How much is on your head?" And it was 140,000. And I said to him, and that was it. From there, I went to play against Northern New South Wales and then played against Australia and Queensland, where I was offered a 2-year deal, and over I went. So WA was good to me.
Life-changing event. WA, the home of Bobby Despotovski. I didn't know there's lots of things I don't know and don't remember, but I just found out that Bobby, in fact, and did I say welcome?
Yes, you did.
Okay, well I'm going to say it again. Welcome and thanks for joining us, because you did spend a little bit of time here at Heidelberg, and we're going to get onto that. And I know that you've got a terrific story about how warmly welcomed you were to the club when you first got here, which was just gold, absolutely gold. But Perth born. Spent a significant period of your life up to
20 years in old Yugoslavia at the time,
and then
back to Perth in 92 November, and then 94 spent in Victoria, 94, 95, and parts of 96 when Heidelberg was kicked out with Parramatta Melita and Brunswick Juventus out of the league for some reasons. David Hill. And I played here in 96, start of Premier League season 96, that was January I believe it was, until September. I think we reached the grand final that year. We played Altona Magic, we lost on penalties.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm really interested in how you got to Melbourne, because a lot of people, because a lot of the trendy kids, you know, if you're on the internet, you're either watching porn, which would be me, or you're one of the trendy kids doing the iFace and the iPod and the phone thing and the Raspberry and the Blueberry and so forth. I know nothing about this, Bobby. You need to understand that. But a lot of them would only know you for the 200 odd games, 100 odd goals for Perth Glory. But long before the Perth Glory gig, you were here at Heidelberg United Alexander, or Alexandros, just getting in this.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
I loved the story that you were telling Doug before about how warmly welcomed you were to this club and how that's really ingrained itself in your memory.
It wasn't that funny at that particular
Oh,
moment,
funny,
you know. But now when you look back, it's hilarious. It's picked up from the airport about 11:30 or 12 o'clock. It was after midnight that we arrived somewhere around here.
Do you remember who picked you up, Bob?
President. Who was at that time? Peter Sutcliffe?
Pete in there?
No, I think it was. No, it wasn't that.
We'll say Pete anyway.
Why are you
No,
asking the
no.
cameraman, Bobby? Just leave him.
Yeah, we'll say Peter anyway.
I thought it was Peter, but never mind.
It was.
Yeah, he picked me up. Nice flashy car.
It was
So
Pete.
the guy, yeah, it's good things happening here. Straight to the house. Chucked me in the house. He eventually received a call from somewhere that he has to go somewhere or do something or whatever. He goes, oh, yeah, he's the key going. Fair enough. Big house. Walk in, open the door, try to turn on the electricity. There's no electricity in the house. Try to feel my way around. Eventually go to the bedroom, finally find the bed, crash, just slept in my clothes. Get up in the morning. I thought somebody's going to come around to pick me up, maybe go to breakfast or training or something like that. 6 days, nobody come to pick me up. So I was by myself.
You did get out, though. You did get out.
I did go out. I mean, after probably about 12 hours, I was so hungry. I had to find some kind of a deli or something to eat. So wander around.
So the fridge wasn't full?
No, it was no fridge. It was one bed, no hot water, and one coffee table.
Okay,
That was the only
furniture
thing.
then.
Yeah, I had furnished apartment or house.
Boozers.
Angelo Booth
Now,
was the prep.
Bob, I have to, me being the co-host, of course, to our lovely show,
You're absolutely eclipsing me on every level.
I've actually gone outside my square and I've actually done some homework.
Splendid, good job.
Never did it at school. I mean, I did do it at school. And I took some notes. And I got some notes and apple, 3 mango juice, 3 neutrals, 4 strawberries.
No, good, well played.
And unfortunately, I picked the wrong one up. But anyway, I've actually did some notes. I did some notes. That was my other one, so don't worry about that, guys. I had the proper ones just on the other side. Melbourne Warriors. Who was Melbourne Warriors, Bobby? 24 appearances and 26 goals.
Oh God, he did do some research. I'm astounded.
I didn't write it because I can't
We,
write, but that's okay.
I think Melbourne Warriors become after Melbourne Warriors was the first change of name, and then was Collingwood Warriors,
So it was
because
still-
Collingwood was coming to sort of a, I don't know, some kind of a thing to take over the club, and they wanted to enter the NSL, and that was the easiest way for them to actually get into the NSL. Obviously,
And
after
that was following along with Carlton.
no, Carlton was, I think, year after.
A year after.
I think Collingwood was
Well, that's
first
much
one, and
better
then
than
Carlton
memory.
was the after, yeah. So obviously they had a lot of sort of a financial backup from Collingwood. It was a lot of money invested. You know, Zoran Matic come to be a coach, and they had a lot of resources, coaching wise, and the equipment and everything else. They played okay at such a big stadium that it was no spectators on one side because it was too far to play at Victoria Park.
Yeah.
And yeah, they had first couple of games. They did okay. Did it okay.
I actually
I
remember
was-
13,000 against the Melbourne Knights
Yeah.
for the very first game.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they done okay, but I'm tipping you didn't do too bad either. Were you on goal bonuses back then?
No, I actually I
26 goals in 24
scored.
games.
Yeah, Melbourne Warriors was just before the Collingwood came in,
Okay.
so we were still in the Premier sort of a league. It was not NSL, but still we had such a strong team. It's not funny. I mean, we practically went all the way to the final with 1 or 2 losses, I think. And I scored 12 goals in the first 4 games in that year.
So you were struggling.
Yeah, very
Struggling
much
to
so.
find them,
Yeah,
struggling
very
to find
much
them back on
so.
that.
Well, just while we're on that subject, because we've got the reunion coming up, and I mean, we didn't spend a huge period of time here, But just to want to come back, you know, come from Perth to come to reunion, clearly you've got some ties here and there's lots of people you remember. Who are some of your teammates that really stand out as quality people, quality players, people that you remember?
I mean, when I was here at first, obviously Alan Scott, he was our captain here. Obviously, he was the head of the club, and me being a young boy, you know, and just breaking into the side and stuff like that, we, you know, I had a lot of respect for him, how he conducted himself on the pitch and off the pitch as well. You know, George Georgiadis was there, you know, Brian McNichol was there. All these guys had experience in the league, where us young guys coming from other side of the country here and so look up to them and say, okay, you know, I want to be like him because he already played 50 or 60 games, or he played 100 games, or Alan Scott at that time, I don't know, 160 games or whatever it was. You know. 10
years at Heidelberg, I think.
Yeah, so all these guys sort of inspire us in different sort of levels. Obviously, after I left, I wanted to do and consolidate my place in sort of each team that I played. Doesn't matter that being Melbourne Warriors in the State League or the Premier League or NSL or whatever that might be.
Can you pin down, I'll put you on the spot, one outstanding memory of your time at this club? What's the thing that you would go back and do again?
Do again? It's just I guess all come down to friendships and the first away trips and stuff like that. It's, you know, it's...
Sorry, Bob, I just remembered my first one. Sorry, but you just had a flash. Gary Cole sat me down and said, Doug, if you can do that on the dance floor, I hope you can do that on the soccer field. So, and we were in King's Cross. So, sorry, mate. That was just
you know, coming from the other side of the country and just playing in the State League where you don't travel on the planes and stuff like that, you know, being together with the guys, going away, sleep in the hotel, going to the lunch, dinner, breakfast, going to the game pre-match, and all that was so exciting for me. You know, it's like it's a professionalism to the next level. You know, the State League is one thing, but the next level it's something another. That's sort of a. Even when the players say, look, we're missing the game, I think they're saying camaraderies and everything else. I don't miss training, put it that way.
I think anyone does.
I don't miss that, but I miss friendship, I miss going away, you know, and stuff like that. You know.
Which is a little ironic given you're now coaching, aren't you?
Yeah, I do actually coaching in the State League. I'm assistant coach at Inglewood. That, funny enough, that Glory is trying to do something that Collingwood Warriors was doing with Melbourne Warriors in those days.
Yep.
So they sort of have an affiliation where they're gonna...
Sister club?
Exactly. And kids that play in the National Youth League, they're gonna have option to go down and play in the State League. So practically 11 months of the year soccer.
Now you were at Perth Glory, I believe.
Yep.
How long were you there, Bob?
I was there about 12 years, I think, from '96 that I left here.
Yep.
After that grand final to about 2007, I think I retired.
So
About 12 seasons.
you would have played with my fellow companion, old Sean Murphy. He ended up coming.
Yeah, he came back to us and he was our captain as well. We wanted, I was the captain in the first winning side. He was the captain in the second one where we beat Parramatta Power 1-0. Nick Murger scored in the last second of the extra time.
That must have been a remarkable period of time when Perth Glory came into the competition and, you know, averaging 17,000 in their first couple of seasons to home games and things like that. It was
good period. Like it's everybody was taken by surprise. We came into that, and I remember we still had a contract where the crowd bonus was offered to us. The percentage, I think, was about 25% of the extra people that are above 5,000 goes to the players.
Fantastic.
So first game we got 10, 11,000, so we share 25% of the 6,000 paying public people that come through. And ever since that, it just went up and up. We played Marconi, and it was 3,000 people locked out.
Yeah.
And it was sensational. Then obviously the second year we got no crowd bonus because they cancelled that kind of a contract. But fair enough, we still enjoyed playing in such an atmosphere. Everybody wanted to go there and play.
Wasn't there 40,000, I believe?
43,200 and something was still until last year record for Subiaco.
The grand final.
2000
Wollongong came from 3-0 down.
3-0 down, yeah.
That was a sensation. I mean, I'm sorry, but that was a sensation. I remember watching the game, and I couldn't have supported Wollongong any harder than I did. It was just it's wonderful.
Did you, as a kid, did you play with Red Star?
Yeah, I played as a junior in my local sort of area, and then when I was probably about 11, I went to the Red Star Juniors.
I remember Red Star being Red Star Belgrade came to Australia, and I remember my father. Oh, they took me. It was a very big club in, I suppose, Europe, part of Europe,
Yeah.
I suppose.
They won the World Club Championship in Tokyo
Yeah.
in 1991 and the Champions League.
How long were you there for then, Bob?
I was there about 3.5, 4 years. And obviously it was a lot of people that tried to get through and go into the higher development things, but obviously it's a big percentage of people that actually are cut and go back into the second division. I was one of them.
Now, I'm going to give you one on the thing, if I may, Mr. Blake, regrets.
Regrets?
Have you had one, is there any regret in football, in your career? Any regret that you shouldn't have done, or did do, or couldn't have done, or changed things? Anything?
It was a regret that I didn't end up in PAOK, where after I left here, I went to Glory first year and I scored 14 goals in that first year.
Yeah.
And funny enough, PAOK...
23 games. How am I
That's
going?
correct.
Hey, how am I going? Hey, go Dougie, go Dougie, hey.
I'm quick.
Now listen, I had to, because you've always had your paper. I thought, that's cool now.
Where's my paper?
Yeah, you hang on, where's your top sleeve? You took it out.
Well, there's one I do have to ask you about, and feel free to say no, but you're talking about regrets and controversies. I don't remember it because I remember I was calling the game for television, was the incident out at Melbourne Knights. Do you regret that happening? And no?
No, one bit.
Okay.
No, one bit. I'll tell you why. Even that I actually publicly apologise for that, that wasn't me. That was Nick Tyner, the chairman of Perth Glory, because he didn't want to sort of, if I can say, pissed off one side of the public that supported us, which is the Croatian community, and I have nothing against Croatian community, but I love my own.
Yes.
So I respect what they're doing. I do whatever I need to do. So in that way, even the people that actually did know me football-wise, they stopped me in the street and said, "Hey, you're the guy with the three-finger salute." So in one instance, I went from just footballer to a professional that being recognized by mum at calls. So it's, you know, it's sometimes it's the people that didn't know behind scenes or why I did that and stuff like that are a little bit judge people in the first instance, but everything else was alright.
I think the thing that always strikes me about that more than anything else, and this is just a personal perspective, but I remember at the time that I was watching television shows and news services, and they were cutting it and turning it into something far worse than it actually was. And I remember I was furious because they were cutting my commentary and making it sound like I was trivialising a riot, when in fact, apart from the signal and some people burning and a bit of a punch-up later, it wasn't the worst thing that's ever happened in the world. You know, it's like out of control.
You know what's funny though? This happens in England every day. Every day.
On a much bigger scale. On a much bigger scale. Yeah.
But you ask yourself, and probably the thing you need to ask yourself is, David Hill back then, was the procedures and infrastructure in place? So don't look upon it. Wasn't. How do supporters get the players?
We had 2 security guards on one side and 2 security guards on the other side. Obviously, nobody could actually get. Actually, if they pushed hard enough, they would actually get into the change room. Put it that way. It's easy. Especially at Melbourne Knights Stadium in Sunshine. So
You go from the car park into the...
straight in there. That's it. So it's not much there, but the thing that upset me was that nobody by Football Federation of Australia at that time didn't recognise that a lady from Football Federation of Australia got actually absolutely punched her lights out right in front of me. Our coach, Bernstein, at that time, kicked the shit out of him. So all these things were not mentioned in the initial report, and you know it's
funny. It's funny how they basically show what they want to show,
Absolutely.
and believe on the lead in your name.
And I think, yeah, absolutely. And I was a great advocate for the game, so I'd get terribly frustrated with the crap that you would read and see about the game. And the other element of this too, and let's leave some of this alone, but...
You'll get annoyed again. You know,
He's getting upset.
Is that it's interesting what you said, that you became recognised for something that was, to all intents and purposes, quite out of character, because I think everybody that's come, known you along the journey or knows of you would say you're a terrific bloke and really easy to get on with, and not a malicious bone in your body. So anyway, we're dropping it. We're not talking about it
He's a lovely
anymore.
man. Man love?
Well, not as much as man love for Gary. Gary Cole. Gary Cole.
Please
come see us, Gary. Man love, baby. I've got to ask you, and we've been doing this quite a lot in recent times. Now that I'm old and I can be bitter, and I can look back and reflect on a world that was much better than it is now. I still believe, and I want you to be really candid and offer your opinion, I still think that the standard of the A-League, I love the way they pump it up, I love the way they're promoting it, but do you honestly believe that the standard of the A-League is the standard the NSL was achieving, even in the mid-90s when you had Adelaide City and Melbourne Knights and South Melbourne and all those great clubs?
My personal opinion is that it's not better. It's more professional because we see it more on television. The NSL was not on television, so if NSL was pumped through the television stations and everything else, it would be on exactly the same level. Yeah. But the playing field or the standard of football, I don't think it's any better than NSL. That's my personal opinion. Yeah. So I don't know. It's a lot of people saying it's more professional. Yes, because a lot of clubs invest in the infrastructure, and they have 30 people behind the scenes. They have Pilates. They have yoga. They have. Imagine us doing yoga.
G-string might not be
There's something.
But it's they wanted to pump the product, which is good to see. Yep. I still think that, and this might be taken out of context in some ways, that the players that playing A-League are grossly overpaid, I think, and that's why a lot of people struggle.
Yep.
I think the players that have come from overseas to come back here, which is good, are practically taking the piece amount of money that they're asking.
And I said be candid,
and they're good, and they good promoting the game. Yep. Don't get me wrong, but the amount of the money that they ask is just astronomical. You cannot actually support something like that, knowing that I'm taking Perth Glory for instance. They're paying $120,000 for every game that they're actually at NAB Stadium.
Just to the ground.
Just for the ground.
Right, is my jaw still on the ground?
So this kind of a cost, and you're looking at 13, 14 games at home.
That's unbelievable.
You're looking at $1.5, $1.6, $1.7 million only for a ground.
I think we've got some exclusive footage here. We need to promote the crap out of this. What about the future now? I'm not sure we've got, again, I'm using the I'm old defence, Bobby, because I may have even forgotten if I've asked you this, but I know you've got 3 lovely boys. Yep. And are they soccer players?
Yeah, 2 older ones playing at England when I'm coaching, and I'm also sort of a junior president of the club, trying to fix the juniors and give them the right parts and stuff like that. They playing, one is under 13 and one is under 10.
Okay.
And the third one is just chasing the balls at this point of time around.
Now, are they centre forwards, defenders?
One is a midfield, not bad. The other one was went through the growth spurt last year. And a little bit awkward. His knee was hurting, so he was a goalkeeper.
Okay, makes perfect sense.
So my father was a goalkeeper when they play against. Good eye and coordination. Yeah, so it's not bad.
Now, I've had a look at your website.
Yep.
And I've got an issue. I've got a problem.
Here's a shot. Let me put on my shorts.
I've got a problem. I could not find a pair of shorts on your website.
Oh, we have
Harry Pants shorts, bobby10.com.
That's correct.
We'll give that a plug because you've got a rather iconic store now.
Actually, you're
no, sure,
right.
Because I needed. We had what happened to me and Blake were doing a show of Harry High Pants, and he said, "Yeah, I would have, but I couldn't find him." So it was.
I definitely have shorts.
But I went on there and I
haven't put them
thought,
on the
is there
website.
any large shorts? So I was looking for, and there was no exit.
For the bigger boned
For
boy.
the bigger boned people, they're carrying a little bit more out in the paddock than normally. So,
Fair enough.
anyway, so I just wanted to bring that up. So Bobby10.com in WA, make sure you go there and get the gear off Bobby. There's a plug. There you
It's
go.
just a purely football story.
Only football.
Okay.
Only football, and we can get anything that you want.
How many?
Practically anything you want, any club, anything. We got contacts
At least
in
I've got a lovely
UK.
wife, but the brunettes or have you said anything?
Ah, you're going that way.
I wonder if he ever gets up and wonders why he said that. You know what I mean?
My wife knows she'll love
And she won't be there on Saturday.
Be there, don't forget, guys.
Yeah, Saturday night. As I said, we're really looking forward to it. It's the coming together of the clans. I wanted to mention too, given that they've resurrected me for these webcasts or podcasts or whatever they are, it was lovely also to get some acknowledgement. I'm sure a lot of people remember Andy Pascalides, who was a terrific commentator who eclipsed the crap that they put on television now. He was with SBS for a long time. And I haven't got the text message with me to read out. He sent a text message to the club saying that he was going to make it, in his opinion, this was as big a reunion of any old established NSL club that he's ever known about. So kudos to the club for making this sort of an effort. I think it's fantastic. Or Alexiandros, wise words indeed, Greg. Thank you. So, do we have anything further, Doug?
Next step for Bobby. Are we looking, what's the future hold, mate?
Looking to finish my A license in April, and obviously that's the first part, and then you go on the second part. I think it's in November, I think, sometime. So
Yeah.
hopefully I can finish that in time, and who knows?
With the aims
It's I think the jobs within Australian sort of a footballing society is only limited, yeah. So
I'll give it,
maybe Asia. I'm closer to Asia than
Yeah.
maybe Melbourne, to be honest.
Ernie Merrick apparently is in Asia, exclusive. I don't think it's been, or maybe it has been in the paper. I don't get to
No,
read
let's
it.
pretend it hasn't
It
been.
hasn't been in the paper. Ernie Merrick in Asia now.
Imagine that was breaking news.
Oh.
What a joke! The cripple and the old man.
So hopefully coaching is an opportunity.
Yes,
going.
they definitely wanna make ways into the coaching. Yeah.
So did you? Now tell me, right? Have you had some coaching clinics yourself?
Yes, we did coaching clinics and everything else at Inglewood. I'm involved with 7, 8, and 9-year-olds at Perth Glory Soccer Club, because they have like something like summer development program now that we're introducing, and what we're doing is actually we identify about 64 kids that have sort of a prospect to go further, and we just do the kids training over the summer periods and release them back into their clubs. So we're not actually signing kids or anything like that. So we just identify, teach them a few things over the 5 or 6 months period, go back to their clubs, and hopefully they're going to stand above the rest of them, and everybody's going to sort of look at that as a sort of a role model. We got all the programs. If they want to take programs back to the clubs, and they coaches want to continue with the progress in that level, they're welcome to do it here.
Well, I'm not sure if you're picking this up on the camera, but I think the disco music for the gala night, they've already starting to crank it up. So that probably is as good a way to bow out as we've got. I must say, Doug, I think you'll agree with me if you're still there. Yes, for sure. I think you agree. Bobby, it's been such a pleasure to catch up with you.
You too, guys.
I reckon we could talk for a couple of hours, quite seriously. It's been so much fun, and I hate these things because everything in my life nowadays is like a memory, and it really sucks to get. So don't get old.
Stay young.
Stay young. Stay on your Twitter and your Raspberry and your porn sites. We will catch up with you again in about a week's time, I believe. Yes, we'll be back in about a week's time, and hopefully we'll have a special guest as delightful as Bobby Despotovski. Bobby, thanks for coming in tonight.
Thanks, guys, for having
Enjoy the
me.
Hey,
reunion.
you see you, buddy.
You too, David. Cheers, mate. Like cheers, mate.
There we go.
Who's your daddy? Who's your daddy? Go on, baby. 2012, get your membership here in Heidelberg.